Oh my god, so spooky. All right, how's everybody doing this wonderful Saturday evening, huh? Everybody grooving?
Yeah,
Groovy.
Yeah.
my
Hell
team's
yeah.
up
Good.
2-0, so I'm
Oh,
happy
the Habs.
for now. First period's over. It's 2-0, so I'm happy. It's a good Saturday.
Yeah.
And yeah, you guys had a happy Thanksgiving this week too,
Yeah,
right?
Canadian
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
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 So
So,
I, I
Thanksgiving.
just did work around the house. That's pretty much it.
mm,
Yeah.
cutting down trees and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Well, we have a tree, and
Oh,
the line for the house, the power line for the house goes right. It splits in a line. It goes through, and it's getting old. And we had
Mm.
a storm the other week, and a big branch fell onto the power lines. So yeah,
so yeah,
it's been
you
overdue. So my cousin bought a telescopic lift, so I rented that off him, and
yeah, you went up in the JLG, man. Like, what was your tie off? Did you like have a harness, or did you just raw dog it like a psycho?
raw dog
Get out of here.
Well,
Nuh-uh.
cutting like that, doing
With a
with the chain
chainsaw.
with a chainsaw and the branches, and it's right on the street. So I got to make sure when I cut the branches, I can bring them into the basket with me so they don't fall into the street in case cars are going by. I kind of had it blocked off, but still, like, so with a harness, it's just too much shit in the way, and I'd probably have more chance of hurting myself with a chainsaw with a harness on than if I didn't. The more stuff I could get caught up on, and
I
so
don't know.
I just
It's
went with that.
unsafe, bro. It's
Don't you
very
have
unsafe,
professionals
Joe.
that do this?
Yeah, but
Like the power authority?
they were charging. No, not for that because it's on my property, so I'm responsible.
Stop.
They will pull you back in the days. They will pull you up, and with that little rickshaw, cut it like that. That's how I. I mean,
Well, it's
that's
because
how did it.
I've got the lines for my internet that come in on one side of the tree, and the power line comes in through the other. So I
Oh,
gotta cut it in small sections and work my way down.
No.
So that
okay.
grab the pieces that I cut so they don't just fall straight down onto the wires and everything. And
I
so
agree, Chris.
I'm used to it. I've worked in those machines multiple times. It's
But I mean, still, you pay for electricity. Somebody should be coming to do this.
well, that's the joys of
I
having
don't
trees, right? If you have trees and they're on your property, it's your responsibility. So
Oh, that's. Mm.
know. That's not how we roll around here.
Yeah, no, the
no,
county takes care of it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no matter.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Whenever we cut the.
they call that company Aspelunda with the orange trucks.
okay.
Splenda. I see them when we
Asplunda.
have hurricanes. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I kind of miss cutting the branches because I live in an apartment. But when I used to live in a house, it was nice, going out, cutting the grass, and then cutting freaking branches off too. But anyways,
Mm.
it was fun times.
Yeah, it makes me reminisce for like the time period this movie we're gonna talk about takes place in. I figure like back in 1970s Maine, you went up and you cut your own damn tree in your yard.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yeah. Is that a real place in Maine?
Probably not.
Jerusalem's lot.
Like I don't I think Derry, Maine is actually a real place, or did he make that one up too? Like all of his stuff takes place in Maine, and usually in like little towns that he made up.
Mm.
Shout out to Elle and Chris.
Hello.
Shots.
Nasty cough, probably bit by a child vampire. Oh, it's supposed to be her.
Yeah. Oh, dude, like that was one of my favorite things about this movie. I mean, like I know we're gonna get into it, but like that shot of like when the little kids were trying to get into the clubhouse,
Yes.
they're all
Yeah.
on the roof and shit. Like movie had some really great shots in it with the
Some cool
vampires.
yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the characters, you love them, you love them real quick. And then, yeah.
You
Even the
love 'em
kids,
real quick.
yeah, even the kids, you start like
Yeah.
liking them. Okay, cool. And then,
Yeah.
So, Joe, though, what are we talking about tonight, man? Just so everybody knows for certain.
Yep. People are tuning in probably already know, but yeah, we're going to be talking about Salem's Lot, the remake that HBO Max put out just came out a couple of weeks ago.
On the 3rd, I believe, right?
On the 3rd, yeah. So they put out a it's a movie. It's not a series. So yeah. So you can go
Yeah.
check that. Yeah, directed by Gary Doberman, I think is his name. He's worked on a lot of stuff as a writer, mostly like Annabelle, the Nun movies. He worked on did a lot of work on the Swamp Thing series that I really enjoyed. So he
Oh,
did a lot of
Okay.
work on there. Yeah, does a lot of producer. This one he actually wrote the script and directed this one. So I think this is only his 3rd directing credit, or 2nd or 3rd. So he does mostly writing, but yeah.
So yeah, man, the 2024 Salem's a lot, and I didn't expect much out of this going into it. You know what I mean? I remember when like we were talking about the possibility. I was kind of telling Joe like, "Hey man, don't get your hopes up," because I Stephen King adaptations, they're usually like really on or off, but like dude, like this one was on fire. This is probably one of my favorite adaptations of his, man. Like it legit just reminded me of like a really solid like vampire movie from when we were kids. Very akin to the movie Silver Bullet, which is also one of my other favorite
Yeah.
Stephen King movies.
mm,
Kind of hit me in the same kind of feels as that one.
yeah.
And also, I kind of thought that they were going to modernize it. I figured like them doing it now, they were going to try to make it take place nowadays. But I was really happy with what they did. Like they made it legit take place back in the 70s. They just did everything really right. You know what I mean? Or
Mhm.
at least visually and stuff. I guess there's some stuff people might whine about, but shut up. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, there's always going to be people that complain about it.
Yeah.
So let's go around and do first impressions, like just your general thoughts on it. Then we can get into maybe more specifics like cast and stuff. So Juan, we'll start with you, man. What did you think of this movie? What were your like the things you loved, things you hated, or neither either?
The characters for sure, because you get to fall in love with them quite quickly as well. And for a 2-hour movie, that's really good, especially for how many characters there is, which is basically the whole town.
It's
That's what I
there
love.
is quite a cast of characters in this. Yeah.
What I didn't like, not there wasn't anything that I didn't like really. Um, I did see kind of like the original one, and it's a little bit kind of similar, but not really. But the characters I did love, and the kids characters, freaking love them as well. Even though stuff happens, I'm not gonna say anything else, but yeah.
Stuff happens. It's a movie
Stuff
where stuff happens.
And you know how they
Hey,
always say
fuck
Stephen
them
King,
kids.
yeah, folks. I don't want to spoil, but yeah. And then they start. I don't want to spoil, but you'll see.
Well,
Yeah.
it's been out what for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Week and a
I
half.
mean, people. I think after 2 weeks, you don't have to worry about spoilers as much. I mean, if people haven't seen it in the first couple weeks, then you've given them more than enough time to go out. And if it's something they really wanted to see and didn't want to get it spoiled, they would have seen it by now anyway. So.
Exactly.
And they're
Yeah.
not tuning into this anyway. They'll be like, "Oh, I'll watch it after I see the
Yeah.
movie." Yeah.
Do that. Like
And
sometimes
all
I'll
the
watch
different.
something till
Yeah.
I've seen it, then I'll watch an episode podcast talking about something
hmm
just in case, you know.
Yeah.
But also
Yeah.
the shots that they got, like what Elle said, the whole walking in the woods, and they
Mhm.
start picking off one kid. I was like, oh my god, that was good.
That was
Oh,
upsetting.
the coloring in that too, man. Just the
Yeah.
way the woods looked, and yeah, kind of almost Wolfman-ish. The way the guy steps out of the trees and just grabs and that was sad too, because that little kid was kind of,
It
He
happened
was
quick.
scared
Like,
already.
yeah,
Poor
Yeah.
exactly.
kid.
Oh god, yes. And then whenever they start killing them off, you can hear the crunching and everything, the blood splattering. Oh, I hate that. I love that, but I hate that because you can really, like, fuck, he's like dead. And it's sad also. And then also your favorite character is basically the teacher. I did I kind of did, but I kind of didn't see that one coming. But when that happened, I was like, "Fuck this!" It's like, oh god, there's something to kill everybody off. And then the what's it called? The nurse, no, the doctor. Oh my god! So I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
the doctor. Yeah.
Yeah.
shotgun. And I was like, oh my god, okay. It's like, okay, this is really good because they're just blasting everybody away.
No
But it
one's
was a good
safe.
movie. Yeah, it was a good movie for a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
For a 2-hour movie, trying to adapt Stephen King because no one really can. But it was good for me.
All right, Cookie. So, how about you? What were like your highlights, your lowlights?
Well, I went into this with low expectations because I watched the miniseries when I was a kid,
Yep.
and I don't remember anything other than the antler kill. So I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but I loved it. It was so good. Highlights for me was just that it felt like an old school vampire movie where they have to be invited in and
Yeah.
crosses and all that. Like the lore felt very authentic.
Yeah.
I
So-
love what they did with the crosses, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. Yeah, dude.
It's really
that
cool.
was so cool.
Yeah.
And I think my only complaint was that like I feel like they knew the rules way too fast. He's like, oh, I read a book, and and now I know everything. But I mean, it makes sense for the runtime and to keep it moving along.
But I love the kid,
So-
how he gets all his knowledge from a
Yeah.
comic book.
I love that.
You know? Yeah. He
I was
goes
like,
straight
Mark
for
is
the
my
comics.
favorite.
Yeah.
Mark was the badass dude. Like
He was so cool.
he was just looked at. He was gonna go up in there by himself. You know what I mean? He didn't care
Yeah.
if anybody else was
Badass little kid. Like even right at the beginning, they establish it really quick when that bully comes around, and he's like, puts the bully in his place and makes him say uncle and all that. Then the teacher comes out and kind of like, around these parts, when we say uncle, we
You
let them go.
Yeah.
You let go.
We take them by their word in this
Yeah,
town. The law.
exactly. He's great. I love that actor. We'll get
I
into
love
it
Mark.
once we get into the actors. But Johnny, man, you want to go or you want me to go before you?
I'll go ahead and go, man. Like,
Okay.
like Juan said, man, like it's a lot similar to the original, but the way they were able to do so many things better this time because like that whole action set piece at the drive-in, you know what I mean, which is basically the third act. It was all just so riveting, man. It was shot so cool. When little man just takes down the movie screen, just driving through it, like that was just done so awesome. And I thought it was cool, you know what I mean? Them trying to drag him into the shadows. It was very, very classic vampire stuff. It really reminded me of kind of the last vampire movie I really liked, 30 Days a Night. Kind of on that same type of level. But like I was saying, there's just these really great panoramic shots of like the vampires up on the roof, and it's really great. It looks chilling as hell. A lot more effective than I would have normally thought, especially the first time they even pull it. Like it was when they pulled up to the teacher's house, and he's like, "Don't get out. They got vampires on the roof." And I'm just like, and they zoom up and show it. I was just like, "Oh, dude, that was gangster." How
that was so creepy.
Yeah. And then it's some of the stuff that they did that could have been really goofy, but they played it off well. Like when the author guy kills his first vampire while he's getting pulled up into the air, and like they throw him the stake, and he's stakes him and then lands on the dead vampire's body. Like that also played off really well. But like like Joe said, like probably my favorite thing that it could have came off really goofy, but the movie made it work so well is the glowing crucifixes when the vampires were around. Like I loved that, dude. I mean, it just was so old Hammer film style, but like yeah. And then the other thing is I really liked Barlow. I thought that his design was really good and really adhered to the original, but like kind of made him look a lot more original, not so Nosferatu-ish, but like he wasn't too far away either. Yeah.
Okay, dang.
But yeah, those are all my highlights, and I guess the lowlights is how truncated it was. They had to rush through a lot of stuff. You knew there was more stuff with the bully because it's a Stephen King story, and I'm pretty sure there's probably like bully vampire chasing him around, kind of Return of the Living Dead style. But that that's all cool. I like the runtime, and like I said, it kept it really punchy. This movie really takes off running. And I have one last one, Joe. I'm sorry, but
Yep.
it
No,
was able
mine.
to make a song that kind of I always groove to, like be oddly chilling. Sundown by Gordon Lightfoot. Like, oh dude, like the way it was used in the movie was actually made it like a pretty chilling song.
I was gonna ask about the music because I know every time these kind of movies come out, there's always music in the background, kind of like Teacup, the series. You know how there's those songs at the end. Have you seen it? But yes, the music.
It had some pretty good minor hits from around that time period. It had Sundown by Gordon Lightfoot, had Clap for the Wolfman by the Guess Who, and Hurdy Gurdy Man by Donovan.
When they started playing Hurdy Gurdy Man in the bar, I was like, this is so creepy. I love it. It's like, this is perfect.
So would you have rather they tried to like make it like a limited series, like just one season, maybe do like a short, like maybe a 4-episode season or something like that, Johnny? Would you have rather had that, or
since they stuck it on streaming, yeah, I don't see why not. But this movie, if you look, I watched the end credits and it said it was actually filmed in 2022. So this thing's not just stuck on streaming, dude. It was shelved for like 2 years, which bums me the hell out because this is like one of the better movies Warner Brothers has put out in a while. Really proves to me that David Zaslav really has no idea what he's doing. Because like this could have been a pretty good theatrical hit in my opinion, especially if word of mouth got out about it, because this is a lot of fun. Like me and Joe were joking around, Salem's a lot of fun. Like
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'll echo one of your sentiments, Johnny. It definitely at times made me think of 30 Days of Night when they're going through the town and it's quiet. Then you're like, man, they got everyone. Like you get that dread of like they're the only ones left, right? But you didn't see. They don't show it. They just allude to it, and like how the town's so quiet and dead. It really gives that eerie kind of shit, we're fucked kind of feeling, you know. And then like where you see them on the rooftops just watching and stalking, it definitely kind of gave like similar vibes to that. And like it felt like a throwback. This movie was great. I love the use of fog everywhere with the backlighting. I love it, and the glowing eyes through the fog. Like I love that. It's just like an old vampire movie. Like you said, the treehouse, the fog around with the kids just all around the house, and they zoom out and you just see them like just
the silhouettes of them in the darkness. Yeah.
The silhouettes with just the eyes glowing, right? And I love that. The eyes glowing, the cross when they get close activates, and like the power of the cross kind of activates when the vampires get close.
I love that.
Love the cast. The cast was great. I mean, yeah, just I don't think there's anyone in it that didn't perform well as a like with their role. Like I thought it was all pretty good. Like you said, the design of Barlow was great. They didn't go too far off from the Nosferatu kind of look, but like you said, still kind of gave their own little twist on it. And yeah, I mean, the pacing was pretty good. Usually I complain about runtimes, but I didn't really notice it on this one. So
yeah, it was just a little over 90 minutes, I believe. It was just a little over an hour and a half, so it didn't drag its feet, you know what I mean? Like,
and the only thing, the smallest gripe, it's just, you know, it's stupid because, you know, is why the drive-in in the trunks where there's no shade or trees. They're like such sitting ducks out there in like midday in the trunks of their cars, you know, like that's the only thing I was like, oh man.
Well, they needed to explain it better, but it's because they were gonna all get up and drive in a caravan to the next town at night.
Okay.
So they were all like kind of just in a place where they were all waiting to take off.
So they were just the plan was just get out of the trunk, get in the driver's seat, and take off.
Yeah, and everybody's there ready to go. You know what I mean?
It kind of reminds you of that show Midnight Mass.
Oh
It was
I'm
pretty good. That's
Yeah.
a vampire one. People could go check that out if you like vampire stuff. Then
Yeah.
Midnight Mass was fun. That came out last year or 2 years ago?
I think 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2
Couple
years ago.
Mhm. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. That was
Yeah.
part of that whole what's his
Because-
name verse?
Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, the Flanagan verse with Netflix.
The Flanagan verse. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So those were just the general thoughts, and let's get into the cast, man. Let's see what your main actor. One of the first ones is
Look at him.
Willis Pullman, and I didn't look at the actors' names beforehand, and at the end I saw his name. I was like, Willis Pullman, and all throughout I was like, this guy looks familiar to me, and I was like, wait a minute, Pullman. So I went and looked.
Stop.
Is related to
It
Bill
is.
Pullman?
Yeah, it's his father. And I was like, they do. They have the same eyes, the same
They have
nose,
the
the same
same
lips.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, damn it, it is Bill Pullman's son. So
No wonder I gravitated to this movie really good.
yeah. So I was like, that's why I thought he looked familiar. I was like, God damn. Yeah.
But who he hella
Well,
reminded me of in this movie is he reminded me of Patrick Wilson, man. He kind of
Yes.
had that same like really likability to him, and like
And he looks just like that. His hair's the same and everything. Yeah, that's exactly what he looks like in the movie. Yeah.
so that's why he was so cool. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
And,
genetic.
and there's a familiarity, like his face, his facial
Yeah.
expressions. I was like, there's something about him that just.
Yeah.
So I went and looked, and it was him. So then you have the. Well, we could do the love interest, I guess. His love interest in this movie is Mackenzie Lee. I'm not very familiar with her. She was in. Let's see. I have. What was she in? She was in a few things. Not a lot of stuff, but a few things that you guys might be more familiar with.
She was good in this.
Billy Lynn, Slap. She was in Gotham. She played Lisa. I'm not sure. The Assistant, Vanishing Princess, Light Years, The Code. Yeah, The Nick.
Oh no.
She was
Really?
Amy O'Connor in The Nick. Anyway, she has a
Oh.
few.
Oh, okay.
Unforgettable. She was in The Good Wife. Anyway, she's done quite a bit of stuff. I
Oh.
think a lot of smaller roles,
Mm.
like one-off roles. So that's the love interest for Bill Pullman's character.
It was great.
Yeah, she was good. It was good,
I'm
and
sure.
her fate in the movie is kind of sad, but I mean, it fits
Yeah.
with all the other characters. Then you got the little kid actor, badass actor, Jordan
Yeah.
Preston.
Mr. Petrie.
Look at that, man. I don't know if that's Photoshop, but that kid's got some fucking flawless skin, man. Jesus Christ, look at that. It's
Well,
crazy.
he's like 10.
Yeah, but still.
Everybody has
Still.
flawless skin when they're
Yeah.
10.
One of his and the friend he makes. Actually, what did he's a kid actor, right? So he hasn't been in much, I don't think, as well. Whoops. And what has he been in? Let's see. I thought I recognized a couple little movies he was in. DMZ. He was in the Shaft movie, Powers movie, Salem's Lot, Kindred, Miss Marvel movie. He played Gabe's. Okay. So he has quite a bit of stuff for a child actor. MacGyver, the remake. So he's done a few things.
Oh.
And his best friend that he makes at school is this kid,
I've
Nicholas
seen him before.
Pravetti. Yes, you might know him if you watched Boy versus the World. What was that one with Bill Skarsgård?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Boy
He
Destroys World or
Yeah.
Boy Kills World.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays Bill Skarsgård's character when he's a kid, so you might recognize him from that movie.
He looks like a
That's
little
right.
Skarsgård.
I went to go see that one. I was really high. That's why. But
And
he was in there, man.
That was one of the very few roles that he's had. So he hasn't had that many. Then you got one of my love this guy. Everything he's in. He's
Oh
Yeah.
Bill
man.
Camp. He plays the teacher.
Mhm.
He's
Good
great
man,
and everything. You might have seen him in countless things. I think he was in he does a lot of HBO stuff actually. What's the one where the kid gets arrested and he's held overnight?
The night of.
Night of. He was
Oh,
in that.
that's good.
That was one of the first things I saw him in.
Yeah.
And he was really good in that. And I think I've seen him in a few other things. He does a lot of cop dramas and stuff like
Mhm.
that. He often plays a
Yeah.
cop. So yeah, he was really good. Then another great performance was by
Oh damn it! I
Yeah.
swear
Alfred
they were
Woodard.
just
She was
fucking
really
killing them
good.
all.
Yeah.
She always is, man. She's an
Yeah.
all-star. She's been in so much stuff since I was a kid, man. Like
Mhm.
she has had like an amazing career. I was thinking about that like before the show, just like
And I love that her character, she's like a doctor, right? It's science. But it doesn't take forever for her to jump on board and be like, okay, we're dealing with fucking vampires, right?
Yeah.
Like she's like, okay, she's not, she sees one fucked up thing. She's like, all right, this is it. It's vampires. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's,
oh
Well,
yeah,
tell me what-
the mom vampire didn't even sit up yet. It just started making noise. He's just like, oh hell, get the
Oh,
get
hell
the
no.
yeah, and the morgue just it started moving and it's like, oh shit. I believe you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who else do we have here? We have one of the first the Gravedigger guy,
Yeah.
Spencer Terre Clark. He was a pretty sympathetic character. Then you have
yeah.
Hilo Asbeck. You might have seen him in Game of Thrones.
That's where I know him from.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Ah.
You might have seen him in with Ghost in a Shell.
Yeah.
He was in Run Sweetheart or Sweetheart Run. He was in that as well.
He was in the first John Wick, right? He was the guy that killed the dog.
No, it's
No,
not
that's
the
the
same.
other. That's the other
Oh.
It's
Game
the
of
skinny
Thrones
one.
guy.
Yeah, the one who gets his wiener chopped off. This is the non-chopped off wiener guy. He's the one I think he controls the fleet of ships or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay,
He's
he
the
is.
sea guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's that guy's uncle. He's actually Theon
Yeah.
Greyjoy's
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
So they
So
do
he
look
plays
alike.
what does he play? Striker? What was his name in it?
Yeah, Striker.
Striker?
He gives
Yeah.
mad pedo vibes in this when he's like looking through the
Yes.
bag at that kid. Like he plays that way too good, man. So that's why when Mark snuffs his ass, I was just like, yeah, dude. Like I love that scene where he's just whining and then you just hear splat.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Then you have this guy. Alexander Lewis plays Barlow.
Oh.
So he plays the vampire.
Oh.
You can see it in the face, right? He's
Yeah.
got that. Yeah.
Mhm.
I wouldn't trust that. I'd be like nervous if someone left me in a room alone with him.
Well, another
Mhm.
good
That's a
thing
long
that they
neck right there.
another cool thing that they did with him is they didn't really show him until like the scene in Mark's house, right? With the
Yeah.
priest, where he's just like, I'm a
Yep.
priest, and he's like, are you? That's kind of like the first time you got to see him.
yes.
And I like that. It reminded me of when I was a kid, where like they wouldn't show you the monster until like the end of the movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Another actor that William Sandler.
Yeah.
You see him in
Yeah.
tons of stuff. He plays the sheriff.
Of
He's
course.
I love him.
Where he's like,
He's
get the
such
fuck
an
out of town.
asshole in this movie.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, you should be like me and just get the fuck out of town.
Because I think his character in the mist.
You're
Fucking
supposed
ass.
to be a hero. Why are you doing this?
And this is the director, Gary Doberman. So he directed it.
Good job, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, the team that they form with Bill Camp, Woodard, the two main characters, and then I love how the kid is kind of doing his own thing while all these adults get together, and then they're all like, but the kid's so confident in himself, right? He shows up and he's like, "Where are you going?" "I'm gonna go kill this mofo," you know?
Yeah.
Like, and they're all like,
Yeah, he's not asking for help. He's like, I'm taking
he's
care
just
of
doing
it.
it. Yeah, he takes things into his own hands, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that was great. The cast did a fantastic job, I thought.
And the town, man, like it legitimately looked like an old ass town. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I thought that the setting was very well picked out. I
Very
wonder if it's
Main Street America. Yeah.
I wonder if it's actually in Maine this time, or they probably filmed it in Canada, right?
Probably everything
I
is
can
filmed in
go,
Canada.
I'll go check
Tax
it
free
real
in
quick.
Canada. Tax free up in Canada.
Well, we'll see. I'll go check film locations. Do they have it?
More than likely, I know
They
the
usually do. Country of origin, United States. Filming locations, Massachusetts.
Oh,
Massachusetts.
All right.
okay. So it was in New England. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, all the filming locations are in Massachusetts. Yeah. So,
Looked like it gave off the vibe. Yeah.
mhm,
Oh yeah.
mhm.
Mhm.
Especially Father Callahan, poor guy. Like in the
Oh,
beginning, like his fate is already like
I don't
not
have.
there.
I had a picture of him. I guess it didn't load. Yeah, I don't have it. He's an actor that I've seen before too. Who's the actor that plays the father? But I
It
love
was
how he's
cool.
like kind of given up on his faith and everything.
Mhm.
And then when he goes to use a cross, it just putters out on him. And the
Yeah.
vampire's like, oh, it only works for those who believe, you know?
Hmm.
Son of a bitch.
No, I
John
thought they
Benj-
were gonna. No, I
It's-
thought they were gonna throw in a twist that he's the one that hit Ben's parents. I was like,
Oh,
no.
oh. Who did it?
No, I'm glad they didn't do that. So.
It's who's the actor? It's John Benjamin Hickey. He's been in Revenge of the Fallen, the Transformers movies, Flags of Our Fathers, The Taken of Pelham 123.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he's been in a few things.
Yeah, he looks like an old racist preacher from New England.
Yeah.
He's actually a gay man, so
Oh,
in real life.
well, you can't help what you look like.
Just so you know.
So he isn't probably isn't your typical playing a priest.
Typical
So
priest, yeah.
yeah,
Watching this movie was like reading Walking Dead, where all the characters start dying off, and you're just like, "Holy shit, they're actually doing this!" Like, okay, here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Well, who do you guys think was actually the worst villain? Like Barlow actually wasn't the worst guy. I'd say it was either between Susie's mom or
Yeah.
Stryker.
Oh,
the mom,
I
Yes.
forgot about
The
Susie's
mom.
mom.
The mom.
In the
is-
beginning, she was just horrible.
Yeah.
yeah, the mom is definitely the
Yeah.
worst character, like the worst, the most evil
Villain.
character.
Yeah, straight up.
Well,
No,
she's the one who
she's-
takes out
the doctor.
the doctor.
No.
That was a pretty. I was
Fuck it.
that one.
Yes.
Like a lot of deaths, I was like, okay, you know, yeah. Like the teacher, you're like, okay, you saw that coming. He helped the kid get away, paid the price, this, that. But the doctor was like straight out of left field, like boom. You're like, oh shit.
No.
Yeah, it
And
was
then
jump
everything,
scare.
yeah. Then it's like, oh shit. You think, okay, they got the
That's
upper
me
hand.
off.
It's daylight. They're all exposed in the parking
Yeah.
lot. Nope. Because what's her name's mom's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, she was
The-
evil.
Well, I need to know why they decide to take any kind of action right before the sun's about to go down. It's like you have all damn day. This is over multiple days. Why are you doing this right before sundown? Like,
They need to do the research during the sun is up. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't
That
know.
was-
Mark went in to get shit done. Like he went and like tried
That's
to find
true.
Barlow at the store, and then he ended up having to kill his buddy, which he promised that he'd do.
Mm. Oh, that was so sad. I mean, it was nice of him to do that, but it was sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt
Yeah.
so bad.
And I'm pretty sure like his vampire friend would be happy if he didn't keep that promise. You know what I mean? I don't think that was
Mhm.
like one that he agreed on with him.
This would be a great double feature of coming of age kind of sort. You can see the Sandlot and Salem's Lot.
Mm. The lots coming together. Yeah.
A
Exactly.
crossover movie. Yeah.
Oh,
You
yes.
get the big Saint Bernard becomes like a vampire dog,
That could turn into a comic
Hellhound.
idea
Yeah.
already. A crossover like
or-
RTR's.
or you could do like the Sandlot and Cujo crossover.
Mm.
God. Or Children of Corn
Because
crossover with the
Cujo-
Sandlot.
Because Cujo is a Saint Bernard, and the Saint Bernard eats their ball in the Sandlot. No,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I like this
So-
idea.
yeah. So then the kid reaches to get the ball, and then Cujo goes nuts and kills
And
them
then we
all.
could probably
Rips their
tie
arm off,
Beethoven into it too, man.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
You're getting good now. Hold on. The crossovers are all crossovers.
Y'all are ruining my childhood. Stop it.
Are we? I
Oh.
mean,
Awful.
these are ideas. These are great ideas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Children of the Corn with the Sandlot because the Field of Dreams. Think about it. Think about it.
And I can see we could mix all three of them together. We could have what was the creepy little kid's name with the cult leader? He could,
Oh,
if they rebuild it, they will come. And he's making another kids dig out.
And then yes, and then the ghosts will come in and
thing.
help out. Oh my god, just like Lord of the Rings, crazy.
oh my
shit.
God!
Stephen King already right here.
I can't.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they came out with Return to Salem's Lot. It's a sequel to the original.
to the movie or or is it like the follow up for the series?
No, it's a sequel
to the movie.
Okay,
Yeah, sequel.
Because they did a series and a movie, right?
Yeah, they did one in the 80s that had Rob Lowe in it. That I know that there was like some form of Salem's Lot in the 80s with Rob Lowe in it.
Okay, so they have 2 movies and a series, and this would be the 3rd movie.
Yes. They really want to adapt so much of Stephen King.
Wow.
I mean, he's getting the money, but
the funny thing is when they do really bad unneeded sequels, like me and Cookie were laughing about it. Like how many times that they did sometimes they come back. Like I don't get why they need to do that. You know what I mean? Like, but like the It Part 3. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's one thing. Yeah, the director actually worked on was the It movies too.
Hey, I'm gonna have a hot take, but like I think that this movie was better than the It remake. Personally,
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
I like the It remake though, so I don't know. I'd say it's on par. If you liked one, you'll probably like vice versa. If you haven't seen It and you watch this and liked it, I think they're both about the same quality, which might turn some people off, but
Well, I think for me, I think this is more rewatchable than It. I like it. Don't get me wrong, I like It, but I can't. It's not really something I go back to. I think this is something I'd be more likely to go back to.
Yeah. I've watched It a few times because my nephew was obsessed with it. That was at 10 years old. That was his favorite movie.
At 10?
Yeah.
Oh, trauma.
Oh, he loved watching
he
horror
likes being
movies.
Scared.
Yeah, when he was a kid, like we were talking about when we did the Gate episode, like Johnny was saying, it'd be awesome to get that like childhood innocence where horror movies actually scared the living shit out of you. Like back when you first started watching it as a kid, and like really like head under the covers, not being able to watch the screen, or through
not being able to sleep.
Yeah. So, do you think this is what age do you think is appropriate for this movie?
Oh, I'd say anybody over 10 could watch it, man.
Yes.
Over 10?
Yeah, I think
Fun for
there's
the whole family.
There's some light cussing, but like even the kind of sexy stuff between the main guy and Susie, like you kind of see her shoulders, I think. Like
yeah, it's more like after the fact, right? Like they just show like the next morning where the woman comes in on the door and being like, hey
Susie.
Yeah. Yeah, there's little parts like that are funny, like cute little parts. Yeah, I think it's good. Like Johnny said 10 maybe. Yeah, 10, 13 for sure. 13, no problem.
Oh, 13, yeah.
The abduction scene is terrifying, and I'm pretty sure like it would be mortifying for children. So I guess gauge that if you're listening, like there is a very pretty traumatizing abduction scene with a really cute kid, you know what I mean? Like you really kind of feel for him, and like it's just kind of brutal. So like that would be like the only kind of rough part. Like anything else with the monsters is kind of it's well done, but like in another movie it would have been goofy, but it just works really cool here because like you got legit like flying vampires, you know what I mean? Like a classic lore. We're going back to like literally stuff that from like the Dracula era of really early gothic vampire stuff. So it's excellently done, you know what I mean? But there is one genuinely scary thing that would probably mess with the kid though in the movie. So, but I would say like 10, 12 maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Anywhere between
Yeah.
10 and 13, depending on, like, judge your kid. How mature is your kid? Is he, if your kid is, or it's all
It's
up
a
to
good
the parent.
message too.
Do you want it? Do you want to stay up at night? Is your kid like get affected by movies really like a lot? And so, but I mean, it definitely, like Johnny said, 13, like we said, for sure, no problem. 10 years old, if your kid can handle horror movies and is already a quite avid horror movie watcher, then yeah, I don't see a problem with it. Yeah. Another thing I really liked about this movie is they just, it's like pretty straightforward. They didn't try to get all, like people are all into like elevated horror or whatever you call it, and trying to get, it's stupid, like, oh, try to
Fancy it up.
yeah, like
Yeah.
trying to get pretentious, or what like it was just like Johnny said, just classic vampire lore. They went to the library, hit up the books, found out what killed vampires. It wasn't like all this, pretty straightforward story, which is refreshing, I find, because there's too many horror movies that try to
Reinvent them.
them and try to use, like, I don't know, it just gets boring sometimes when they just atmosphere and nothing really happens, and it's like, alluding to something, but it never, like building the tension, but nothing ever really happens. And I mean, there's a million of those out now, and I've seen enough of them, so let's move on to something else. And I'm glad they didn't go that route with this, so
Yeah. And one thing that'll turn me off of like vampire movies faster than anything nowadays is like if somebody in the trailer says, "Forget everything you ever learned about vampires." Like, okay, it's gonna be another one of those.
yeah. So
Oh, what about Daybreakers? I think they said that.
No, there are some that are fine. But like in 2024, if I hear that in a trailer, I'm like tuning out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because
but did they say that in Daybreakers?
I'm pretty sure they said it in Blade, which is one of my favorites. So like, there are movies that I love that use that exact terminology. But nowadays, like if I legit hear that in a new trailer in 2024, most of the time,
like done.
It's like, what are they doing now?
And I think it's worth, if you don't have Max, I think it's worth going to get it, because you have this movie and another one that just came out this week, The Cattle Lake. Is that it?
Yes.
So
I need to watch that. I mean,
yeah. So I mean, you'll have a couple things you could go watch if you get HBO. You could get Salem's Lot. You could watch Cattle Lake, which was pretty interesting. So
interesting.
I mean, it's not on Max, but I also recommend people checking out Shudder. VHS Beyond was really good. That was another horror film that I watched kind of like at the same time I saw Salem's Lot. And yeah, I had a total blast with it too. That skydiving short was the blast, man. Like I loved that.
The Stowaway one, the one that was directed by Kate Siegel, that one was really sad. It's just, what was happening. I was like, oh man, poor person. But it's good.
She just got her ass kicked because that was a pretty interesting short. You know what I mean? A lot different kind of alien horror that you normally think of.
It wasn't bad, the VHS. What else? Hellboy came out too.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend people go rent that or buy it, or however it's available.
It's on VOD. You can buy it or you can rent it.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth it. I mean, it's a low budget, like Johnny said, micro budget. So I mean, some of the computer effects probably aren't up to snuff compared to like big budget movies, but they don't rely on it too heavily. So it's only a few scenes, but otherwise the rest is a lot of camera effects, lens flare, camera effects and stuff. So it's really good. We're actually going to do an episode on it, so I won't go into it too much. We're going to do a spooky episode on that coming up in the coming weeks. So
yeah, we told you so episode. It's coming.
Yeah.
But yeah. Around the table, man. What do you guys rate? Like, should we do out of 10 or out of 5 for a Salem's Lot? I guess do whatever you guys are whatever kind of
Used
judgment
to.
scale you guys like to use. Like I legit give it an 8 out of 10, man. Like it is really high
Yeah, there we
quality.
go.
Really, you
You know,
agree,
I
Juan?
definitely say 8
Yeah.
on 10. Yeah.
8. I was
Yeah.
gonna go like 7.5, 8, anywhere around there. It was good. I liked it. It was really
Yeah.
good. I love like I said, it felt like a throwback, like
Mhm.
but well done. And visually I loved it, and no complaints really. So
Yeah, they literally tried to make it look like a movie that came out when we were kids, just with modern like effects. And I think a lot of the
Yeah.
stuff that they did in this was in camera too.
Yeah.
Even the the stuff with Barlow at the end, which was
Yeah.
really fun, man. I liked that vampire fight and its outcome. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
thought that
Yeah, I like that they
It's
didn't,
very exciting.
and it wasn't like, oh, that's not it. Then it's like the come upping again. Then it's like, then you think, oh, then they always have that last comeback. But this time
Yeah.
when Barlow's dead, he's fucking dead.
He's
Like,
dead.
that's it. Like there was no like, all right. I love it when they do that. Like, all right, you got him through the heart or whatever, or however they do it. He's dead. It wasn't like, oh, it was just off a millimeter. So
Yeah.
you
Or
didn't
like,
get
you
him
didn't
through.
cut his head off, it doesn't count, kind of thing.
Yeah, but I like it when it's like resolved.
definitive.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitive. Exactly. That's another thing I have to give it props for. Not dragging out that final scene where it becomes ridiculous. Like you're like, you just lost me. But they didn't, because they didn't do that. So kudos to them. Yeah. So
Well done.
like we said, it's you guys, is HBO and Max two separate streaming services now, or is it all in the same?
They
No,
just
it's
call
all
it
one
Max now.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not even called
yeah.
HBO, it's just Max.
Mhm.
Just Max.
Yeah,
now.
Okay, so we still have HBO here. It's called
Oh,
HBO
damn.
Max. So we're behind in the times, right? So
Well, from what I understand, they might be selling it to Skydance, and it might be becoming another streaming service altogether again.
Oh my god. I'm so tired of this.
It's funny because all those contracts and everything, it's like I bet you it's just a mess. So even if they try to sue whatever, it's just oh yeah, go look at these contracts and they're like fuck that no. It's just it keeps getting piled up to like no one's even gonna know who owns what.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to do it, but we're gonna do another. We're gonna get to the Luther Strode episode. We put that one off a couple times, but we're gonna do it. When did you want to do it, Johnny? You want to do it?
I don't want to put a
tomorrow?
label on it. It's cursed. I'm not
It's our second cursed episode after the
a
Zoe
hack slash, which we still haven't done. Yeah,
You know what? You want to do a double feature?
that's gonna be a lot, man. Because there's a
see
whole
if-
omnibus.
See if we can get
Double
the curses
cursed.
out. Get the double curse. Maybe they'll cancel each other out. The two curses,
Yeah.
Mm.
But let's aim for
Yeah.
Monday though, man. Since you
Okay.
kind of put that out there. 'Cause,
Okay. I think
I'm
it's supposed to
gonna be
rain
busy
all
tomorrow.
day here on Monday, so it's going to be a rainy day, so I won't have much to do. So Monday sounds good.
Yeah. And then we're gonna try to do that Hellboy next week. We hope so we could get some people on, but if it's just me and Joe, that's cool too.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I know you guys have Comic-Con coming up. Juan
Yeah.
and Vicky are going to New York Comic-Con.
yeah.
So it'll be interesting to hear your adventures at Comic-Con. We'll see if someone takes a shit on the floor this year.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Juan's been very intrepid this year, man. Like he's already been to New York once, right? And then Chicago.
Okay,
and then,
man. I'm not
And-
video. I'm
He's
not
and you
a
went-
traveling man.
Where did you go to Denmark or the
Bulgaria?
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria? Okay.
Yeah, I wish I went to Denmark. Yeah, Bulgaria.
Okay.
But next year, Canada.
Yeah.
Trying to get
Oh,
some, yeah.
come up my way. Let me know, man.
Canada.
We'll,
I will
We'll
because
definitely
I'm already.
plan something. Yeah.
Don't worry, I will because I already got people's like Canada. Like, yeah, we want to go skate. Like, that's right. It's like so. Whenever they put the dates out, I'm gonna buy my ticket, my plane ticket, and then I'll let y'all know. But yeah, next year, Canada for sure.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to come too, Cookie? All right.
Oh, I miss my poutine.
Okay. Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, so thanks to Juan and Cookie for hopping on with us to talk about Salem's Lot, which was a lot of fun. We all recommend you go and check it out.
Highly recommend.
Hell yeah. So yeah, we got some stuff coming up. We'll let you know exactly when on the socials. Until then, you know what? Keep it spooky, y'all. And yeah, this is a perfect little Halloween movie. So like once again, check it out.
Mm-hmm.